Hi, this is Blockchain Band. Welcome to another episode of the Sui Move Smart Contract Development Series. Today I'm going to be talking about PTBs. So you must be hearing about PTBs on Sui. So PTBs are the full meaning of PTB is Programmable Transaction Block. So it's a technology by Sui that allows you chain a lot of transactions into one and execute them. So you can combine a lot of transactions and just execute them at once rather than calling maybe making transaction one by one. So it's a unique technology made by Sui. So you can head over to Sui Foundation. I'm going to drop this link on description so you can head over to this place and read more about PTBs. So head over to VS Code. I have this to do list code which I took from the move book. So if you head over to the move book, you will see this to list code. I copied it from here. So I'm going to be using this code to show you how to use PTBs. So going back to VS Code, first of all, we have this object here which is created here with an ID and items of vector string. So I talked about vectors in the last video. Then you have a function to create a new to-do list, and the function returns the to-do list. Then also you have a function to add an object to the to-do list. You have another one to remove from the to-do list. You also have a function to delete the to-do list and get the length of the to-do list. So um first of all, before we get into let me deploy smart contract. So to deploy, let me just say client publish. So while smart contract is publishing, let me head over to my terminal over here. So looking at this, you can just say Sui client PTB dash dash help. Then we have different functions from the PTB. First of all, we have the assign. We have merge coins, move calls, split coins. So just like I said, PTBs is chaining transactions, a lot of transactions into one and making them at once. So we publish our smart contracts. The first thing we're going to do is creating a new list and sending it to an address. So to do that, we're going to make use of PTBs. So the first thing I will do is to say Sui client, PTBs, PTB. Then first of all, what I will do is to say going back here, let me use the move call first. So if I come here, you see a move call. So for the move call, where is the move call? You have to put our package ID, the module, and the function name, then the type arguments and the function arguments. So let's do that. So let's put move dash call. Then what's our module, our package? So this is our package ID. I'm going to copy that. Then I'll paste it over here. Then what next? Our module name, which is called PTBs. Then the function. So I'm going to call the new function. So for now, we're not taking our function does not take it an argument because CTX is passed by default. So the next thing we should do, we have to get the result. So if you call this function, there's a result. So we have to fetch that result. So to fetch that result, we can assign it to a variable. So we'll have to do that dash assign, which if you head over to the terminal, come up here, you see assign. So we can assign a value to a variable name. So now this function returns the to-do list. So we're going to assign it to a variable. So what is assign? Yeah, I'm going to assign it to a variable. Now let me just call it to do. Sorry. To do. So after that, we have to transfer our to-do list to an owner. So to someone. So to do that, we also have it here. So if I come here, coming down, you see something like transfer objects. So let me copy it. I come here. So for this, what am I transferring? First of all, it takes in a list. So I have to put it in an open and close brackets. So after that, I'm going to put in what am I transferring to do. So sorry, to do. So because I'm in my terminal, I have to put is quotes between it so that the terminal is not confused and knows I'm actually passing in um a list. So after that, what am I transferring it to? The sender. So I'm going to transfer it to myself. So this is my wallet address. I'm copying it. Then I'll transfer it to myself. So if you look at this following interaction, we're actually doing um two things at a time. First of all, we're calling the new function. After which, if we call the function, it returns an object, which is a to-do list. Then also, we're transferring that the result, which is to list, to an object, sorry, to an address, which is our address, using the dash dash transfer objects function. So I call this now. Okay, fine. I made a mistake. So because I'm passing in an address here in my terminal, I have to put at the beginning of the address. So I have to put at the beginning of the address. So if I call it again, now the function should um the code should work. So it successfully called that. So we created an object just like I said. We created this object, then transferred it to a sender. So these are the transaction details. So if I copy this object ID and I head over to my browser, go to Sui Vision and paste it here. You would notice we have a refresh to do list with no items, so 0 items. So now, let's say I wanted to add to our to-do list. So to do that, normally I'll use this function and I would say Sui clients call, I'll say package and let's do okay, let me do it that way. If I use PTBs. So let's say I want to add a list to our to-do list. So I would say Sui clients call just like the previous way. Then I'll say package. Then I'll have to pass in my package ID, which I'll get from here. If I paste it here, then I have to pass in module, which is going to be our module name, and our module name is PTBs. After that, we're going to pass in our function name. So the name of our function is add. So after adds, I'm going to pass in an argument. So our function takes two arguments, which is first of all this to-do list. So for a to-do list, if I come here and look at created objects, I have my to-do list ID. So I'll be passing into that as my first argument. Then an item, which is going to be string. So I'm going to call it my first to do. So if I run this code, this is restful. And if I go back and refresh, you would notice that I'm able to add one to my to-do list. So now let's say I wanted to add more objects to my more items to my to-do list objects. That means I'll have to call this code over and over and over again. And it's not the right thing to do. There's a better way of doing that. So one of the best ways of doing that is to chain all the transactions together accurate at once. So I can chain all the transactions at once and maybe call this function 5 times with just one transaction. So now let me do that. So for that, I'm still going to be using PTBs. So let me come here again and say Sui clients PTB. Then I would say I'll make a move call. So to remove call, then I have to pass in my package ID. So I'm coming again package ID again. Sorry. So this is my package ID. So for me, let me just save it in my terminal. So I don't have to always copy and paste it. So to save it, I could just say export. Then I'll give it my variable name, which will be package. Then to be equal to my package ID. Let me just save that once and for all. And also, let me save my to-do list ID also. So I don't have to go back and copy it again. So let me come back and pick up my to-do list ID. So I don't have to always copy them again. So now coming back, let me use Sui clients PTB. Then I want to make a move call to add to the list. So I would say move call. Then I want to put in first of all, I'll put in my package. So if you look, I started with dollar sign because I saved it to a variable in my terminal, and for me to get it back from my terminal, I have to first of all start with the dollar sign. So I'll put in the package in two columns, then my module name, which is PTBs, then the function name, which is add. Then next, if I'll come back to my terminal, you would see next will be the type argument. But for now, we don't have type argument, so we're going to go next, which is function arguments. So then the first on our list is the first that our function takes is the list. So for the list, I'm just going to pass it in like this. So I'll put at, this is going to be an address. Then I'll put a dollar sign. And then I think I called it here to do. Then the second thing, it's going to be my string. So to do that, um let me call it this my second list. So for the terminal not to get confused, I'm going to put them in between single quotes so that my terminal knows it's a string. So again, I can add another list. So let me copy this move call again. So I can just paste it, then call this my third list. And also, let me paste it again and call this my fourth list. Also, in this transaction, I can choose to see delete the first list. So let me still call it delete function. If you could remember, if you come back here, we have this my first to do list. So I can choose to still delete it in the same transactions. You notice I'm not calling transaction yet. So let me paste it. But this time I'm going to be using the delete function. Then my arguments, sorry, not delete, remove. I want to go the first remove because I want to remove the first item on the list. The first item on the list. So remove, then it takes the to-do list which I have. Then secondly, it takes an index. So since I'm using first list, I'm going to put 0 for the first index. So if I call this, you will notice that this first list will be, then 2 more lists to be added. So let me call this. I don't know why this error came up. Let me try to pull it again. Okay, it failed again. I think I'm having issues with my internet connections. Let me check it up. Let me try it again. So now it's successful. The reason I was having those errors there because my internet connection was not stable. So that's why I had those errors. So now before going to see Explorer, if you notice, I called it the action at once. I made the move call. First of all, I added to my to-do list. Added one item, added second item, added third item. Then also I deleted the first item from my to-do list. So if we head over to Sui Explorer, we'll notice three items added, and this first one is deleted. So let me refresh again. So if you notice, the first item is gone, and we added two more items to our do list. So there are a whole lot of things you could do with PTBs. So we have merge coins, we have split coins. You can chain all these transactions at once. You can choose to split coins and send it to different addresses just in one transactions. So it might be confusing at first. So our advice, you go back and rewatch the videos, then try to play with it. Try to see how you can play with PTBs. It's a way of chaining so many transactions into one and making them at once. It's a unique technology by Sui. So if you have any questions or any concerns, you can drop it on the comment section. I'll always be there to reply to your comments, and also feel free to join me in my Telegram, my X. You can find it on my page, and my games are open. Thank you very much. See you in the next video.